Good evening. Test, test. Can you hear me? There we go. Good evening. It's good to see everybody here for our annual Winter Sports Awards ceremony. A lot of times, for me, I like to have this ceremony at the end of each season, if anything, to give a little bit of closure to the season. I know many of us are still competing with boys basketball. We have swimmers, we have divers, we have wrestlers that are still competing. But also spring season starts on Monday. And once the spring season starts, it's hard to fit some of the award ceremony in, so we're kind of squeezing it in between everybody's postseason competitions. And so, again, it's an opportunity for me to see all the kids in one shot, to get their certificates out to them, to get their letters and awards. Also, just to talk about the season in general. I like to let the coaches come up, speak a little bit about the accomplishments that these kids have achieved through the winter season, and say a couple thank yous. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the coaches for all their time and effort. Again, it's a thankless job, really, and year after year, more and more people believe that they can do this job, and everybody wants to coach during the game or coach at the competitions. But the time and energy that these coaches put in the off season, 10 months prior, whether it be weightlifting, whether it be jump training, whether it be open sessions, is unparalleled, that they don't get paid for. And I appreciate that effort, and you'll hear some of those successes where that hard work is paid off. I want to thank fans and spectators. This year, we didn't really have too many issues. I really want to thank, particularly on the boys basketball sides, dealing with the ticket and athletic pass. I don't want to say a debacle, but it was a lot as far as parents, fans coming up to the school every day to receive tickets so that they're able to get into the games. I appreciate everybody's patience as we work our way through this system that we tried this year. And quite honestly, I think everybody that deserved to be into the game got into the game. And also wanted to thank, obviously, the student athletes. We stand up here today, and the coaches will talk about successes, and they'll talk about wins, and they'll talk about individual efforts and everything like that. But I think from my standpoint, and even though I don't get around to talk to each and every one of you about the job that you do, you make me extremely proud. I have to be quite honest with you, and I'll throw his name out there because I know he won't mind, but I don't know what Drake Myers' best breaststroke time is. But what I do know is that Drake Myers swims a lot. I know it's difficult because I tried it a couple weeks ago, and I got one length of the pool, and I had to stop. So when I walk into practice and I see kids swimming for an hour and 15 minutes, I say, nope, I'm going home and I'm going to put SportsCenter on and eat potato chips. So, but what makes me proud is every single time that you're on a wrestling mat, that you're in a swimming pool, you're on a basketball court, you make me proud. I'm a spectator, and because I know as a former athlete what it takes to compete at this level, particularly the high level that we do. And so I could care less what your time is. I could care less what your record is. Each and every one of you student athletes makes me extremely proud when you're wearing that Bobcat uniform and representing us well. So thank you very much. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first coach. We're going to call up Coach Lisa Rensel and Coach Megan Coleman to introduce the cheerleading squad.
All right, hi guys, I'm Megan Coleman. I'm the JV cheerleading coach. This is my second year on JV, but I started in middle school in 2009. So I have to say this year, for us, we were a little bit challenged. We were on a smaller squad this year, but every step of the way, the girls stepped up, did what they needed to, no matter what it was. If I asked them to do something last minute, they did it. No, didn't give me a hassle about it. Smiled, did what I needed them to do. And then also, we were privileged to have, the foreign exchange student, Punch, from Thailand this year, be on our squad. And it was actually incredible. We've had foreign exchange students in the past, and it's challenging if you've never been a cheerleader before. It looks easy, but it's not always easy. But she stepped up and picked things up just as fast as some of our girls. So I have to say I was very proud of her on that. And the other girls stepping up, helping her out when she needed it, because we had already been 4 weeks into the season when she decided that she wanted to try out for cheerleading. So the girls did great. We also stepped up and helped out varsity when they needed extra stuff going on. We did a couple extra dances with them throughout the season. So I would have to say I'm just extremely proud of my 8 girls that I had this season, continuing to do everything that I asked them to do, and we look forward to next year.
Good evening. I'm Coach Rensel, and I'm not going to tell you how many years I've been standing behind this podium. We'd like to first start off by saying thank you to our athletic department, our administration, and our parents for allowing us the opportunities and supporting us throughout the season. Varsity. Well, this varsity, I could say never a dull moment would be a good way to explain that. Sometimes a little too many TMIs. But they were very passionate about stunting. And sometimes we have a hard time to get people to go up in the air and to do different things and to try things. But that's not this group. So I had a hard time getting them to stay on the ground, which is really a good problem to have. So I commend them for their efforts and wanting to do things and try things that sometimes that means you're going to get hurt, that sometimes means we're going to end up with a concussion because somebody's going to get banged around in the head. They also had a lot of new material that they learned. We were learning new cheers on a weekly basis. We needed new dances for every home game, and that may not seem like a lot to a lot of you, but when we're running 3-4 games a week, that's a tough schedule to try and keep up with and learn all that new material. So I commend them for the amount of material that they learned and that they strive to do their best, because I know they can always do their best when they're all willing to try. So I thank them for that. Also, I think another shout out would be to the parents. I see a lot, I've been here for a long time, and we don't always see the parent support. I can't say that about this group. We constantly see parents at games and supporting us and helping and asking if there's things that they can do. So I just want to say I appreciate all the support to their own children, to the rest of the team, and to myself as well for everything they've done. JV, real quick comment was I saw a lot of passion in some of the JV girls, and as they're continuing to stay with us and follow the guys, and I hope to see that compassionate ability to stay and the compassion to cheer to continue through the next couple of years. So I look forward to JV continuing. And as our team as a whole, there's a lot of times where we come up against games that sometimes we don't have the best fan opponents or parents on the other end of things. And I think I speak for the entire staff that the team, whether it's the basketball team or the cheerleaders, that we couldn't be prouder of how they represent Northeastern with class and dignity. That's not always easy because there's a lot of times people maybe taunting us and saying things that it's very easy to go the other way, but we saw a lot of good team effort and the way they represent us in Northeastern, so we appreciate that. And we hope to see our season continue for at least, another month, right, guys? Absolutely. All right, so at this point, we'll mention who our JV cheerleaders are. Emily Bale, Brianna Camacho, Jen Cross, Aaliyah Drake, Abby Perry, Marlacia Thomas, and no, Mr. Stevens, I'm not going to try and pronounce her name. We're just going to call her Punch, which we always did, our foreign exchange student. And for varsity, Tabanga Barrick is a senior, Natalia Dahl, a senior, Peyton Falkenstein, a senior, Taylor Fishpaw, a senior, and Kamaya Tomchek, a senior. So we wish them well in their future endeavors and in college. In addition, we have Amia Alicia, Carly Berger, Tori Chant, Maddie Graham, Brittany McCarty, Ajani Powell, and Heather Seeger. Thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to call up Coach John Eister for boys basketball.
Good evening. Good evening. There you go. I know how many years Lisa has been here. So, I think it's 26. Anyway, that was pretty cool. I'd like to thank, these are thank yous from myself and my coaching staff. We'd like to thank our parents who, we're getting ready to play our 29th game tomorrow. So it's a lot. It really is a lot. And our parents, our parents really help our boosters and the players and the coaches. So we want to thank our parents, the administration, our student section, our cheerleaders and cheerleading coaches. But mostly we want to thank our players. I think Mr. Stevens said it earlier, who we are very proud of. We couldn't be prouder. We get a chance to play in front of a lot of people sometimes, and sometimes we don't always win those games. But we've all really proud of the way our kids handle winning and losing. So we only have Phoenix is the only one that came tonight. So shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix is going to get his first varsity letter here tonight, okay? So congratulations to Phoenix. Listen, we have 17 players, had 17 players on the roster this year, but we practice together. So, when it comes time to give these athletic awards out, we don't have a varsity team without our, everyone. So, we practice tonight, and our Jays are giving it to us, so they got to play the opponent, and it's hard to practice without those guys. So, before I just go any further, our JV record this year was 13-6, which is really respectable. We were in most every contest. Proud of those guys. Our varsity record currently is 25-3. We are the YAIAA Division I champions, the league playoff champions. And tomorrow we'll with a win in a very important game, we'll be the third. We'll end up as a third seed out of District 3, which is arguably the toughest classification in the state of Pennsylvania because of the number of teams that are in our classification in our district. We try hard, okay? We try hard, and we'll start playing the state playoffs next week. So that's all I have on my note card. Receiving JV letters this year, we have Maurice Capot, Jackson Burnham, Amari Hernandez, Caden Hamilton, Trevor Fisher, Manny Capo. Varsity Wards, Carly Blouck, our manager. Andrew Broadbeck. Nathan Eister. Phoenix Groover. DJ Hamilton. Brandon Michael. Fred Mulba. Kwewu Mulba. Antonio Rizzuto. Zechariah Sanderson. Dejan Simpson. And Nathaniel Wilson. Those are my guys. I got to tell you, we had guys in the ice bath today. We had guys with stim on their backs and on their knees with heat packs on. So they're resting. Sorry.
Next, I'd like to call up Coach Chuck Maxfield to introduce girls basketball.
I'm Chuck Maxfield. My JV coach, Bob Pace, couldn't be here. He's on vacation in Disneyland. But we had an interesting season. Like, our record doesn't show the improvements that we made throughout the year. One thing I can say is these girls never quit on each other. They never quit on me. There's some times where they had to actually boost me up because I was ready to throw in the towel. But we came together as a team. We did a lot of things, some special things that they don't even realize they've done. They worked hard in the off season. One of those things are we led the division and made three-pointers with 91. We were third in the county and made three-pointers. So our record didn't show just the improvement and the hard work that they put in shooting, learning how to shoot, form shooting, all the little things. We had Katie Snellbaker was in the top 35 in the county and made threes as a freshman. We had Maddie Hall, who was in the top 25 and made threes. And we had Brooklyn Young, who was in the top 20 and made threes. One of the other big accomplishments I can say is all 5 of my seniors are going to college, and one of them has signed a letter of intent to play basketball at Lancaster Bible College, and that's Katie Baker. Before I hand out the JV varsity letters, I'll give out a couple of special awards that the coaching staff has come up with. Most improved player for this season, Mackenzie Gross. Our Bobcat Award goes to the player that kind of does whatever you need to be done. She shows toughness. There's no questions. She listens. Very, very coachable. Jordan Jennings. Me, I'm very, very big on defense. Offense is easy. Coach Myers can attest to that. So our defensive player of the year, Brooklyn Young. This player, I pretty much had to scream at to take a shot. I don't know why, because you think everyone would want to shoot, but not these girls for some strange reason. But she ended up being one of our best scorers, Maddie Hall. The season was a successful one thanks to our parents. Our booster club had no issues. I think there was no phone calls from what Mr. Stevens said for 2 years in a row, so I must be doing something right. Receiving junior varsity awards, Maddie Reeser. Mackenzie Redding. Audrey Johnson. Mackenzie Gross. Jenna Gross. Receiving varsity, Katie Baker. Amara Bidding. Amaya Clark. Megan Elzinga. Madison Hall. Jordan Jennings. Logan Jennings. Cameron Maxfield. Michaela Pizzino was not here. She was sick. Katie Snellbaker. Brooklyn Young. And our two managers, Hannah Lawrence and Tyra Gross. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up Coach Dan Wilson and Coach Eric Kuntz to introduce the wrestlers. Who we got? Good evening, everybody. Dan Wilson, Coach Eric Kuntz, high school wrestling program. I think I can start out a little bit like the boys basketball team. If I recalled, they started out the season with 17 and still have 17 kids. We started out the season with 17, and we ended up with 8. I believe we have 7 in attendance tonight, plus Jocelyn, our manager, but it was a rather tough season, to say the least. It's my first year as a head coach, though I've been coaching wrestling for quite a long time. But as the season unfolded, we just learned to adapt to the challenges, and it seemed like every week went by, we had somebody out with injury or guys quitting because work was more important. And as a coach, and not just in particular coaching wrestling, I think we were trying to coach these kids as to enjoy the sport, whatever they're in. You have the rest of your life to work, and unfortunately, we weren't able to accomplish that task with all. Especially, we had 3 seniors that left the program early, and one of those guys was ranked in the state and in the district. So disappointing, to say the least, but we got stronger as the season went on and ended up with this small group here. I think they can contest. We had a lot of fun the last couple weeks of regular season. And, you know, as a coach, it just makes you feel good knowing whoever's left. We had fun every night. We worked hard and still had fun. So
with all that said, I'd like to thank Mr. Stevens for giving me the opportunity to take this position. Though I knew it would be a challenge, you know, the sun's always going to come up tomorrow, and we're going to work hard in the off season. I'd like to really get my hands on about 20 football players to help this wrestling program out next year, indeed, and or be standing in line when the basketball coaches cut players that we'll gladly take them into our wrestling room and make them wrestlers, perhaps. So, all joking aside, you know, yeah, we're looking for numbers, and you know, it's just, you know, there's 14 weight classes in high school wrestling, and at the end of the year, we were sending 6, 7 kids out on the mat. With that being said, we challenged the ones that were wrestling as individuals. If we're only wrestling 7 bouts tonight, let's try to win 7 bouts. I had the honor of my high school coach coming to one of our last home match, and it was a pleasant surprise. I hadn't seen him in quite a bit, and he really pounded that into my head that evening about, you know, Danny, you can't worry about your forfeits. You can't control that. So just worry about the kids that are stepping out on the mat and give them the best you got, and we'll go from there. So Coach Eric and I had our back up against the wall quite a bit, but we learned to get stronger with it, and I'm just proud of this group here that stuck through it, and Jocelyn, too. She was there every day cleaning them mats, running down the zacket and whatever we needed, and greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, we have 3 seniors, Connor Slanker, Jordan Vogel, and Marco Marinero. Hold on, Connor. Hold on. But I just want to recognize the 3 seniors. We had 6. We have 3 left. You know, I think we have 1 junior on the team and 3 sophomores standing up here. So I need football players. I need big guys. And I think we only have 6 freshmen coming up from junior high. So, you know, we're not looking past this year completely yet, but we are looking to build in the future. So next year coming in, we will have Tommy Grabwell, Cole Wilson, Ryan Hussey. Kevin Spangler's not here tonight. I think he's probably at musical practice. And Evie Garcia will be coming back as returning letterman for next year, so that's a positive there for us for sure. Individual success, I'm not going to be up here too long. I just want to go over a few things. Wrestling's one-on-one. It takes a bunch of one-on-ones to make a team score. You know, as a team with giving up all those forfeits, you know, our dual meets were lopsided in overall score, and we learned to look beyond that. Individual successes, we went to 3 individual tournaments this year. The first one out of the gate was a tough one, 2 weeks into the season, and there was pretty good teams there, but Tommy Gradwell placed 7th, and Cole Wilson was 2nd at that tournament. We went to another tournament right after Christmas, individual tournament. Tommy Gradwell placed 5th there. Wilson was 1st at that tournament. We went to a New Oxford tournament towards the end of the year. Tommy was out with a little bit of an injury at the moment there. He didn't wrestle. Guys gave it their all that last tournament. Cole Wilson placed 3rd at that tournament individually. Then we prepared ourselves for sectionals, and we went into the sectional tournament with 6 wrestlers, I believe. Placing at sectionals was Connor Slanker with a 6th place, and we had 2 sectional champs, Tommy Gradwell and Cole Wilson, which is pretty impressive for 2 sophomores. The placing first at the sectional tournament advanced Tommy and Cole both to the district stage last weekend, which was a meat grinder for 3 days. Tommy, unfortunately, had a little bit of an injury going into it, and just it was a shame. He just didn't have the power in the one shoulder, and it showed on the mat. He won his very first match, lost the second match, very close match, and I think when we took that loss there, just took the wind out of our sails a little bit for that last match. So Tommy went 1 and 2 at districts and fought hard. Tommy ended his personal season at 25-9 with 8 pins for the season. Cole Wilson was our 113-pounder. Tommy was our 106-pounder. Cole got 2nd at districts. Had a tough battle in the finals. We lost to the same kid last year in the semifinals. We cut the gap on him a little bit. That boy now, I think, is 34-0 on the season, ranked number 3 in the state individually, and Cole was ranked number 5 in the state. So Cole lost to him 2-0. I think we see him at state tournament in 2 weeks. I think we have a shot at him. We just keep grinding and keep working hard every day towards it. Individually, Cole Wilson's at 34-3 right now with 19 pins on the season. And with that 34 wins, a state title would be 4 wins at the state tournament. You know, he got his goals set high. Eric and I have his goals set high for him, too. We're taking one kid to the state tournament, and we're going to do our best there. So, you know, thanks, Cole, for all your hard work. So moving forward here, that's our individual successes and our team success, if you will. We do have an individual banquet coming up, which I'll talk to all you guys then, too, in the next couple of weeks. I'll get you the date that we have other things going on. So receiving varsity awards, because we don't have enough teams to field, or enough players, wrestlers to field a JV. So everybody will be receiving a varsity letter, and we're going to start with Jocelyn first, our manager. So thank you, Jocelyn. Next in line, I got knucklehead himself, Mr. Marco Marinara. Thank you, bud. We don't love you.
It's marinara because I always got the sauce.
Get out of here. Next, Connor Slanker, senior. Thank you, bud. Last senior on the list, Jordan Vogel. We got nicknames for him, but we can't say them. Our junior on the squad, Evi, better known as Everardo Garcia. He's a good sport. Ryan Hussey, sophomore. Tommy Gradwell, sophomore. And Cole Wilson, sophomore. You got high five him. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody.
Our final group that we'd like to introduce, I'd like to call up Coach Dan Shaberly and Coach Rusty McCullum and Coach Adam Ellis to introduce swimmers and divers.
Do you want to do it? I'll give you the certificates to give them. You want to give them the certificates now? I'll give them to you. I'll do that for you. Thank you. My name is Dan Shaberly. This is probably one of our biggest swim teams in a long time. I'm not sure we've ever been this big. When I look back, we just had our banquet a little bit ago here at the cafeteria. When I look back at like 2008 and 2010, I think we had 17 total kids, and this year we have 41 kids, so 23 girls and 18 boys. So Definitely showed throughout the season. We finally had some depth at different positions, especially with the boys at different events. The girls finished the season at 5-2. The boys were, last year they were 2-5, so a big turnaround this year. And the boys finished 4-3. Last season we were 0-7, and quite a few seasons before that we were 0-7 as well. So really good season record-wise. Normally, I used to say, please don't look at our record and think we didn't have a successful season, which was true. Our goal was always to swim well and dive well at the end of the season at championships, at the county championships, districts, and hopefully states. But it's also nice winning as well, as they can all probably tell you. So that we have never had a season where both the boys and the girls were over 500. The boys were 4-4 in 2012, and the girls had an overall winning record in 2013. So this is the first time the boys have had a winning season and the girls have had a winning season at the same time. So congratulations to all of our swimmers. This is a great group of kids. They come to practice regularly like they're supposed to. A big group of them were asked to come in the mornings on Tuesday and Thursday morning from 6 to 7 in the morning. They're asked to come to practice on Saturdays from 9 to 11. So sometimes they complain, but it was rare that they complained. But they came, they worked hard, they had fun, they got along well together. Not a lot of drama, as I was telling all the parents and not telling all of them at our banquet a little bit ago. We had a couple county champions this year. Hunter Bachman was a county champion in the 50 freestyle. Drew Wilson was a county champion in the 100 freestyle. And Abby O'Leary was county champion in diving. We had 12 total medal winners at the county championships this year. That's the most we've had. That may be the most ever. I'm not totally positive, but it's the most I know for sure we've had in a long, long time. Abby O'Leary placed third on this past Saturday at the district diving meet. And by doing that, she also qualified for the state meet in a week and a half or so, about 2 weeks. Wade Wolfgang placed 15th in diving on Saturday. First boy we've had at the district meet in a little bit for diving. Hunter Bachman, Drew Wilson, Emma Hartley, Katie Mummert, and Lauren Mummert will be swimming on Friday and Saturday, this coming Friday and Saturday at the district meet. Our award winners that we just gave out at our banquet for the boys' MVPs was Drew Wilson and Hunter Bachman, both of them, and for the girls it was Lauren Mummert. And our coaches' award went to Alexis Moffat and Caitlin Rao, both seniors. One of the things I'm always really proud of these guys about is their grades. I never really have to worry about getting emails from Brian about so-and-so is in danger of failing, being ineligible, because the girls had, after the second marking period, had a team grade point average of 3.846 with multiple 4.0s in there, and the boys... Thank you. And the boys were 3.705, so very, very impressive. The National Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association gives out a scholar team award every year. The girls have qualified year after year for the gold level, which is 3.75 and higher, and the boys have qualified this year as for the silver level with their 3.705. So congratulations to them. And finally, before I go on to JV and varsity letter winners, we have 5 seniors, Jason Cardone, Noah Hake, Alexis Maffa, Drake Myers, and Caitlin Rao, who have qualified as academic All-Americans. This is really big within the swimming world. You have to have a 3.7 grade point average after 7 semesters of high school and letter your senior year. They'll be published in the NISCA magazines and all that kind of stuff. So congratulations to the 5 of them. Very impressive for the 5 of them. First, I'm going to go over our JV boys letter winners. First one is Justin Buelto, Darren Nebraska, Alec Payne, Caleb Regal, Spencer Rhodes, and Alan Tatlis. Letter winners for the boys: Hunter Bachman, Jason Cardone, Alex Clifton, Ben Clifton, Noah Hake, Casey Halmizi, Jeff Hudak, Levi Morgan, Drake Myers, Gannon Schwam, Drew Wilson, and Wade Wolfgang. For the girls, JV letter winners Abby Dara, Kayla Dacre, Kennedy Blum, Chloe Bartlett, Emmy Rao, Emily Lease, Sophia Kirawak, and Rose Rush. I don't believe so. She's not here. She's not here. And our letter winners: Lexi Datesman, Rachel Eckenrode, McKenna Fitzsimmons, Emily Froman, Emma Hartley, Courtney Hoff, Alexis Maffa, Katie Mummert, Lauren Mummert, right there in front, Abby O'Leary, Caitlin Rao, Katie Schaefer, Bryce Taylor, and Ronnie Wolfgang. Finally, I'd just like to thank administration, Dr. Seidel and Dr. Payne, how supportive you are of swimming, our swimming program, our aquatics program. I really appreciate it. To Brian, one of our, I think, #1 fans at the pool, all the support that he's given us with our swimming lesson program, with our Bobcat Swim Club, and with the high school. Our parents, I thank them at our banquet. Awesome, we have an awesome group of parents. They provided dinners before the night before every single swim meet. They did the whole entire banquet tonight. They did senior night, so thank you to our parents, and thank you to my assistants who are both standing back here, Rusty McCollum and Adam Ella. So thank you very much, everybody. All right, you guys.
All right, this concludes our presentation of our student athletes for the winter. Just a couple of announcements. To receive your student athletes receiving awards, your letters, ordering your sweatshirt. If you received your second letter in the same sport and you never got a sweatshirt, we'll be back at the table taking orders for sweatshirts, pins. We also have 5 swimmers that have earned their 4th varsity letter in swimming, and I'd like to announce their names. I have a plaque for you back at the table. Those recipients are Alexis Maffa, Caitlin Rao, Drew Wilson, Drake Myers, and Noah Hake. Again, thank you very much for coming out tonight. We have some light refreshments in the lobby. You're more than welcome to stay around and socialize a little bit and also pick up your awards. Thank you.